Mike here, Rusty Garage and Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be putting together the last piece of the puzzle for us to start chainsaw milling. And at the end of this video, we'll talk about some of the tools that you may need or want to carry with you when you go chainsaw milling. So today we're going to be assembling the EZ Rail system. When you chainsaw mill, you have to have some sort of way of doing your first cut, whether that be brackets with boards, an old extension ladder, or like Granberg's EZ Rail system. So let's go ahead and get this thing put together so we can start milling. All right, we got the EZ Rail system here. Let's go ahead and unbox it and get this thing put together. Okay, we've got, go ahead and get everything unboxed and we can see what we got. Get this thing put together. These little dogs look pretty sharp. Okay, that is it. So this is the 10-foot EZ Rail system from Granberg. So each one of these is going to be a 5-foot section. And both these sections will marry up together to make a 10-foot long section. So we've got all of our hardware here, 2 different bags. We've got instructions, some other plates in here. We've got our cross pieces here, all of our dogs, and then some brackets to put everything together for the dogs, and some more instructions. Okay, so it looks like the first thing we need to do is take our hinge plate and attach it to our crossbar pieces using 2 1 3/4 hex-headed bolts and 2 hex-headed nuts. I believe that's going to be the bolt we need. Okay, so let me just double check. These are 1 3/4 hex-headed bolts, so we will need multiples of those, 2 per bracket. Okay, it looks like each one of these bags has the exact same quantity of everything in it, so we'll just work out of one bag at a time. So it said we needed both of these, and these will get installed to the side here. Need 2 hex-headed nuts, and let me grab a couple wrenches. I'll tell you what size it is. The nuts and the bolts, 7/16. Go ahead and get these put together. And these are a nylon lock nut. I'm going to go ahead and do that 4 more times. Then we'll be back. Okay, those 4 are put together. Next step is attaching the dogs to the hinge plate, and we need an 1.5 inch hex bolt and nut to attach these. And you want to make sure that your groove is up top and the point of your dog is pointing down. Okay, we got our 1 inch bolt that we're going to attach the dog to here with. Put it through the hinge plate. Run that through. We'll get a nut, put on that. These are also 7/16, and you're not going to have to snug this way down because these dogs need to be able to move. Plus, it's a locking nut. It's a nylon locking nut, so you don't have to worry about it coming apart. That is snugged up pretty good, and it still moves freely. So let me go ahead, get the other 3 dogs put on. We'll be back. Now that all these are assembled, we need to get the straight threaded screws or leveling screws and get them installed into each one of these crossbars. Now you want to make sure you have a slot in the top side here that you can put a screwdriver in. So you want to make sure it is facing up. And if you needed wider, you can install these into these outer holes right here. You do have options of where you can install these, just like so. Go ahead and get the rest of these put in. All of our leveling screws are installed. Move these up out of the way. Our next step is going to be putting these carriage bolts into these rails up through here, just like so. And then start putting these cross pieces on. You want to use the outermost holes on these cross pieces and make sure the channel's going up. Okay, there's one. Now we need to put flat washers on each one of these. And then nylon nuts. And then I'm not going to tighten everything down totally, because I got one more to put over on the other side. And then I will square this before I tighten everything up, kind of like we did with the mill itself. One more pan-headed bolts. Okay. Our flat washers and our nylon nuts. We got a square. I'm gonna go ahead and square this cross beam to this rail, and we'll get that side snug down. Then we'll square the rail itself on the end. That looks pretty good. Oh, these will be a 1/2 inch. Okay, now we need to square this end here, because this can still move. So we want to make sure these are even. Okay, go ahead and run this one down as well, get it close. Okay, so this end's tight. Also, one end of these has holes in the end of it. You're going to need to keep those on the same side, because that's where going to be where your connector pieces for both 5-foot sections go right here to tie everything together. But now that that's in, let's go ahead, tighten up and square this side. Then we can go ahead and get this other piece put together. And we are still square. Okay, well, that is one section done. I'm gonna go ahead and get this other section put together, and then we'll work on tying the pieces together and get our 10-foot section overall. Okay, I actually messed that up. Okay, so this actually goes like this in here. This is actually the bottom side. So that one I'm gonna have to flip them around. I am probably gonna have to screw these in a little more. Okay, so this groove in this channel will meet up with the groove in this rail. Just like so. Get a flat washer on each side and a lock nut. That's one installed correctly. Okay, that is better. Let me take this one, move it back so we can take it apart. Okay, so this is correct. You got this groove that goes down. That's actually the bottom side. This is the bottom. See, this dog's poking up here? I had it installed backwards on the first one. You want to do it like this, not like this. So this way, when it is on the log, you've got your leveling dogs, your leveling screws there, your dogs that go down both sides, and a nice smooth surface for your mill to ride on. So let me go ahead and take this one apart and fix it. Oh, I should have looked at the pictures just a little bit better, but that's okay. This is a fairly painless and quick and easy fix. Okay, so the groove goes down. Make sure we got our dogs pointing towards the center like we want. Okay, that's together. Go ahead and get our flat washers back on. Our locking nut. glad we caught that now. So that's fixed, not a huge deal. The instructions didn't mention that, but the pictures showed that. And then once I got to looking at everything, it made sense that it needed to be this way, not the way I had it originally. So now that we got both 5-foot sections put together, we have a connector kit that will tie all these together and make it our 10-foot section of EZ Rail. Okay, so looks like we've got a long bolt and a short bolt and 2 plates. 2 of the plates are threaded, 2 of the plates are not threaded. So it looks like we'll put the long bolt in, thread it in one side, both plates. And then we're going to slide this plate in here, and we're going to line it up with this hole right in here and start threading it down in there. Okay, like so. This bottom piece will actually get pinched in there with these longer bolts. So we'll slide it in there, kind of even them out. And we'll run this bolt all the way down, and that's how it's going to secure it in there. Okay, just like so. Go ahead and do this side too. Okay, now we'll take our other piece, our other 5-foot section of EZ Rail, spin it around here, and it is going to couple up together with this end, and then we'll put these little bolts, throw them in here. Okay, just like so. Then your little bolt is going to go in there, lock everything together. And I think for the most part I will leave this put together unless I'm just dealing with something really short. I think for the most part that's how it's going to be. Alright, well honestly really wasn't that difficult. This 10-foot section for this first cut system is pretty light. I think it's going to work out really well. I'm hopeful anyways. So you got your leveling screws, your dogs. That is a nice smooth surface for the mill to ride on. So yeah, this should work out pretty good for us. And we should be starting to mill here pretty soon. So I do want to go ahead and discuss a few things that I think we're going to need while we mill. I was watching a video from Eric Granberg on Granberg's YouTube channel, and he went through kind of a toolkit essentially that you need while you're milling, so I figured I'd go ahead and share some of that information with you all. Some things you may want to take with you while you're chainsaw milling with the setup that we have. Probably going to want you a square, maybe a couple squares, depending on what you're doing. That could help get everything lined up for you. You're going to want some sort of torpedo level that'll fit across here, so when you're leveling your first cut system, that'll make life a lot easier for you. You're going to need some sort of hammer. Beat these dogs into the wood, also pop them out. You'll want these while you're milling. Some sort of safety glasses. Safety glasses and ear protection. Earplugs, earmuffs, something like that. That's going to be something you're going to want in your toolkit. I do go ahead and have an extra scrunch in here and a regular standard screwdriver. And then the last thing, a screw gun. This has a T25 Torx bit on it. That's for the screws to put the arm for the winch, so we can attach that to the log. And then you're going to want a marker or pin or something, I'm sure at some point, so I went ahead and threw one of those in there as well. Now the only other thing I can think of that we're going to need while we're milling is we're definitely going to want to have our chaps on. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to start milling my own lumber. Some things I can use around here, Want to make a couple different workbenches out of some slabs, so I think that's going to work out perfect for us. So is there anything else that any of you all that chainsaw mill, do you have anything else in your tool pack that you carry with you while you're milling? Leave a comment down below and let us know. All right, everyone. Pretty quick and easy, especially if you do it right the first time. But I think this first cut system that Granberg offers is probably one of the better ones. It's really versatile. All this stuff can be moved, so you can set things the way you need to for your specific log. Not every log is identical, so being able to customize a little bit while you go is really going to help. So the only other thing I really need to do now is cut some trees down so I can have some lumber to mill. I do have the ripping chain Granberg sent us. We're going to get this put on our 36-inch bar. I don't think anybody really needs to see how to install a chainsaw chain, but we'll get this installed. We'll get that installed on the mill, and then we're going to start slabbing some boards up. Anyways, everyone, hope you found some of the information helpful. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.